why did someone end up being Jewish and not Christian? Why do we believe in Jesus and not Zeus like the Greeks used to? Well, the answer to that, and for why any of us has a particular religious belief, really just comes down to circumstance or chance. If we're honest with ourselves, a religion is something that we randomly inherit and take ownership of more because of the family or culture or period of time that we were born into, just like we randomly inherit the language we speak. So if you're born in Alabama, chances are you're going to be Christian and speak English, and if you were born in Indonesia, chances are you're going to be Muslim and speak Indonesian. The German philosopher Martin Heidegger calls this our thrownness, how each one of us is really thrown into the world at birth and fall into a situation that, for the most part, determines our worldview. So why do we so adamantly and aggressively hold on to our religious beliefs and insist that our inherited religion is the right one, when all it would take for us to follow a different religion is to have been born in a different culture or period of time? You see, we inherit the religion we practice just as randomly as we inherit the language we speak, but we know that there's no single language out there that's more correct or more true than any other. No one would ever argue that their language is the right one. Instead, we understand that our language is just one of many systems of communication that are just as valid as all the others. So whether I say cup in English, vaso in Spanish, or tasse in French, I realize that there is no language that's describing a cup better than the other. They're just different ways of saying the same thing. But when it comes to religion, that whole logic gets flipped upside down. If I say God, Allah, or Yahweh, instead of recognizing that they're different ways of expressing the same idea, with religion we're ready to argue and fight over our belief that one of these interpretations is more true than the other. And in that way, there's an interesting parallel between religion and language. You see, there's over 6,000 languages spoken in the world today, and there's been thousands more that have gone extinct. Each one of them is a system of communication between human beings that no one ever claims to be more true than the other. They're all just different ways of communicating between people. Now, with religion, it's quite a similar picture. There's over 4,000 religions being practiced in the world today, and there's been thousands more in the past as well, but instead of being a system to communicate between human beings, religion serves as a system to communicate with a higher power. But every day, all around the world, we make the fatal mistake of believing that there's a single religion that's more correct than all the others. We go to war, divide ourselves, and judge each other because of the religious differences that we have, even though the odds of any one of us having the right religion are at most 1 in 4,000, right? Now, if you were gambling and playing a game where the odds of you being right were just 1 in 4,000, would you even play that game? So, it's safe to say that a rational person wouldn't bet on a single religion being more true than all the others, but there is one thing that you can bet on confidently when it comes to religion, and that is that all over the world, no matter what country you go to, you will find some form of religious belief or metaphysical spirituality. So just like our languages all communicate the same fundamental ideas but from different cultural perspectives, or what we call a translation, it's far more likely that our religions are all pointing at the same fundamental understanding as well, just from a different cultural perspective, or translation. There's an ancient parable that sums this up pretty well. It's a parable about a group of blind men who've never come across an elephant before. Each of the blind men hear about this strange creature called an elephant, and so they want to go and see it and find out what this animal actually is. So they approach and touch the elephant for the first time and try to explain what it is to each other. One feels the leg and says that this creature is like a pillar or a tree trunk. One feels the tail and says that the elephant is like a rope. One feels the tusk and says that the creature is hard and sharp like a spear. One feels the elephant's side and says that the creature is solid, immovable like a big wall. In the end, of course, none of the blind men agree about what an elephant is, and they begin to argue and fight in defense of their narrow perspectives. Now, none of the blind men were wrong in the way that they were describing the elephant. It's just that they lacked the perspective to truly understand the whole creature and all of its beauty. Now, we can look down at these blind men and see how silly they were for fighting over such an obvious mistake, but we do the same thing when we choose a single religion to understand the universe. So it's not that your perspective is wrong, it's not that what you experience through your religion isn't real, it's just not the whole picture. So maybe we're just not looking at the question of religion as objectively as we should. Maybe we need to step outside of our cultural bubble so that we can see what's consistent and true across all religions instead of focusing on the details that divide us. Heidegger made it clear that a major goal for us as human beings should be to overcome our thrownness, so that we're not just puppets and slaves of the situation that we're born into, but instead true, free-thinking individuals. If we want the answers to the biggest questions of all, maybe we need to let go of what we've inherited, let go of what we were thrown into, so that we can make room for something bigger, something that connects us all. What we need is to upgrade our perspectives, to upgrade our consciousness. And the sooner we do, the sooner we can begin the next phase of our collective evolution.